Hello everyone and welcome to another very short guidance freshly after this full moon, because in most parts of the world we're just freshly after this full moon. So regardless of what happened or what not yet in our lives, we can still feel this energy. And one of the, how should I say, prime expressions of this energy is an awareness that has to strike all of us collectively and individually. Now, the collective part is yet to be seen, at least for some of us, me included, because I don't really watch or don't even trust the news, so we'll just see what happens. But at the same time, collectively, there is a very strong sense of mistrust in the air, and how should I say, that's awareness, that's a truth. Mistrust, collective mistrust, is a truth that should speak for itself, because from that single truth and awareness you can draw so very many conclusions for yourself or in a larger perspective, but basically that speaks for itself. Can we truly trust that which we are being told? Because this Pluto hanging out at 26/27 of Capricorn, well, it tells us that nothing is what it seems. It tells us that that which we feel in the very core of our instincts is the ultimate truth, and not necessarily how other people who we gave power to manage this, if this even makes sense. The management is the problem. Management of our free will and choices, if there's such a thing as free will anymore, because even that is debatable. And this is where Jupiter comes into play. Why? Because Jupiter is the higher expression of the law. When the earthly law itself is dichotomous, it doesn't make sense. We have to seek, how should I say, further out. In any way, shape and form, even legally, we have to consult the collective morality. And for this, Jupiter in the sign of Aries, where we have to know what justice means for us personally, is that very much important. And it does add a nuance to this full moon. Why? Because I do hope that you're able to see my screen. So we had a grand cross with this full moon, a fixed Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, Scorpio, the south node here, grand cross in the sky, fixed grand cross. So that means an urgent need to change, but even that which is almost unchangeable, which was the same all of our lifetimes, both individually and collectively. But first, the awareness, the Sabian symbol of this full moon, because the moon was not here where it is right now, because I'm freshly after, so it was somewhere here, 19 degrees. So what does this mean? A dove delivering the message. So all of us were delivered a kind of message, a kind of wake-up call, a kind of maybe even shock, why not? And we are right now learning to translate that, maybe a bit anxiously, maybe a bit, I don't know what's happening way, but ultimately, what is awareness? If you're sensing that you just don't know the direction where your life is heading towards, you don't even know what's right from wrong decision-wise, what is sound, logical, rational, and safe in a very strict 3D earthly sense, neither do you know what's that very much safe and sound spiritual even. So you just feel a great uncertainty, instability, and a sense also of powerlessness, because Mars power is also squaring pretty tightly Saturn. And well, when I say pretty tightly, that's Mars 25 degrees of Taurus and Saturn at 22 degrees of Aquarius. So we feel that very tightly. So this is mirrored. Even the powerlessness tells us something. What is powerlessness in a divine message way? Sun in the sign of Leo sends the heart, sends the message to the awareness, the mind ultimately. What does the message say? If you're powerless totally at this time, that means what is that which truly is not susceptible to any power? Illusion. So you should not even have power over where you're powerless. What do? Take your power back. If it's your relationship, if it's job, profession, career, whatever area of life this is, what were you told right now, really? Take your power back and decide, let it, how should I say, boil in yourself. And after the soup is cooked within yourself, then you know the truth. That's the truth. The feeling in your heart or in your instinct. Why? You have no choice. You're powerless over any external source of information. That means even divine is telling you, make up your mind in yourself, because you have an individuality, you have a personality. The divine guided you to life experiences, troubles, obstacles, fake friends, fake jobs, fake everything. Why? The fake was meant to show you what you don't love, what you don't like, what you are not in your heart of hearts. So it helped you. You had all this fake, we had all this fake, I'm included here, all this time. Why? For us at this moment to know exactly what we are not. And if that's awareness, well, it's not a big deal really, because we knew this all along in our hearts of hearts, what we are not, what we don't have power over. So what does that give us? To seek where we do have power, to seek our dreams, aspirations, prayer, faith, wherever it is that we have at least answers, or create our own answers, create our own system, create our own ideology, create our own world, even if we have to. Because sometimes that's what the divine is telling us. Why should I create for you when I'm teaching you how to be a co-creator? So create. If there's a lack, if there is a void, if there is something missing and you have no power over there, start creating. What is start creating? Start dreaming, first of all, and see where it gets you. So yes, this is attention and awareness of I'm lost, but I'm lost is truth. That means that you are aware that the world is lost. If our governors, our leaders, kings, queens, rulers, leaders are lost, that's okay. That's a good awareness. Why? Because that gives us that much more motivation, the Grand Cross, to force ourselves as individual cells of the unity to be found. Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn the structure, Saturn that which holds the control. If it's lost, if Saturn is lost, that means we have to give Saturn the answers. We need to be the Saturns now retrograde, because the outer Saturn doesn't know what he's doing. He's lost. But the inner Saturn, us, is found, can be found. If we don't know the answers, let's create them. And how? Saturn in Aquarius with intelligence, Sun in Leo with heart, with passion, with truth, with desire, with children, as in, if you have children, then your children have the better dreams. Listen to the dreams of your children. If you don't have children, you have the inner heart, as in the inner child, sorry, in your heart of hearts. So you are a child then. So anyway, the child energy is there. Ask it what it dreams, what it wants. Where the South Node in Scorpio, of course, we're releasing family stuff. We're releasing the past. We're releasing our hurts. We're releasing our sexual hurts, as in where we were victims of sexual crimes. Some of us are. One way or another, we're releasing that, as if not collectively, all of us are victims of sexual crimes collectively. For example, pornography should never ever reach anyone's eyes of any human being, because that's not liberty. That's a programming which turns us into something twisted, and we're not aware of it. But if we are twisted in the eyes of our creator, that's bad. That's bad, that's bad. And that's what the South Node in Scorpio is teaching us. And this is where, for example, those generations who were born with Pluto in Scorpio, those are purging profoundly and returning to a kind of purity that even shocks them. So yes, a purge. And you can imagine that awareness of these crimes of sexual nature will come right now to the public eye, to the public awareness. As in right now, in the remaining of this year, let's say. So that's right now, because this full moon is Aquarius. It triggers an avalanche. It doesn't care what it does immediately, because it will do the damage when it starts the domino. The South Node in Scorpio supports the revelation energy. Then the South Node squares this Saturn as well. Let the past crumble. Let it crumble. But Saturn and square South Node, there is a spiritual side of it. And my spiritual guide, Catherine, reminded me of this in a very beautiful email where she said forgiveness. Even where forgiveness should not have place, we need to bring forgiveness. Because we need to help that Saturn. Don't get me wrong, you are not gonna crush Saturn. Because if you do, everyone is perished. Saturn needs to be healthy. We are healing him. We are not crushing. So that means maybe you, someone out there, is the next leader, the next good-hearted person who is gonna lead us. If it means in your job, in your local community, your church, whatever, you might be that person who needs to lead very soon. So maybe this is the awareness that is reaching you. You will need to lead. And that means that you need to release the past, you need to release the fears, you need to find forgiveness, and you need to find, Sun in Leo, courage and trust and faith within yourself. Because the universe does have a lot of faith in you. It does so much, but you need to allow this. You need to allow this truth and awareness that the trust is there, the divine gift is there. Maybe the divine wants to even give you superpowers for real. And maybe you, out of that modesty, you're not allowing it. If you are someone gifted, you need to allow and step up. And the moon conjunct Saturn, your soul gets this reality check. So it's positive, it's good really. Look, there is a trine between Neptune and Venus. So it's an outer sign trine, so there was a trine. Right now Venus is in the sign of Leo. So Venus in Leo, the energy of the heart. So you can imagine that that's a very strong activation. And even if it's an outer sign trine, it still adds a touch of magic. It still adds a touch of faith. It still adds a touch of soul purity urge to that heart energy, which makes it very, very, very sacred. So basically, regardless of what comes to our awareness, all we need to do is know what to do with it. Even the awareness of being totally lost is actually positive. Because lost means it's up to you in any way, shape, and form. And what you put in, the universe is going to consolidate, support. Why? Because there's no other option. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope this helps. And I hope that I did record my screen, not just think I did. Until next time, bye for now.